like to call a meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Belsley.
Here.
Blunier.
Here.
Dobb.
Here.
Hare.
Here.
Herman.
Here.
Kaufman.
Here. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have no public hearings today, no presentations or special reports. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to request removal of any items from the consent agenda? Would any board member like to remove something from the consent agenda? If not, could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Sam.
Second.
I could see it. It was almost there. Any discussion? Call it, please.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
I have two items. One is the appointment of a new village clerk. I have asked Sam Rithaler to serve as village clerk. Raise your hand, Sam. Thank you. Sam's a native of Morton. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Management Information Systems from Bradley University. He's the Technology and Project Coordinator at Technical Publications Associates. And as I said, he's lived in Morton all his life. I would appreciate a motion to...
So moved.
Second.
Second by Ginger. Any discussions or comments? Call it, please.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes. Congratulations. If you would stay, I would appreciate it. We can swear you in at the end of the meeting. Thank you. The other thing I have is I really wasn't sure how to deal with this. So about 8 years ago, the board voted unanimously to prohibit right turns on Clark Street from what used to be called Martha's Plaza. It's now called Jackson Plaza Street. Since that time, the Pizza Ranch was added and KFC was added, and there's all kinds of traffic there now, especially from out of town. So it's very hard for them to figure out how to get back on I-74. To make matters worse, the state put in an island down North Morton Avenue, so now they can't even sneak out and make an illegal turn. So you pull off the highway and you go to these restaurants and you find that you are trapped in Morton for the rest of your life. There is no way that you can get back on I-74. Now La Fiesta's building a nice new restaurant. It's just going to get worse and worse. So normally I would have just gone to Craig and said, see if you can come up with some solutions. And you can think of a couple ways we could improve that. But when I found out you had already passed an ordinance on this, I thought I better bring it up to the board for discussion. And maybe some reasons you simply don't want to do it. And if that's true, I sure don't want to waste Craig's time. So all I'm asking for is some comments. Tom?
Well, for a couple of reasons. For number one, from a traffic safety standpoint, I don't think you ever want to run commercial traffic through a residential neighborhood. If these new businesses need to find a way out of the shopping center, they should work with their developer. And I don't think it's up to us to run them through the residential neighborhood. There was a median there before. They took it out during construction and they put it back in. So it isn't something new. But when they moved that house out of there that time and did create that entrance, that agreement was reached with the homeowners in the area. And safety in that neighborhood, that across one of our intersections there at Bond and MacArthur, which is a high accident intersection anyhow, we had to change that from a yield to a stop intersection one other time.
And that group of homes is actually an association. So when we wanted to put sidewalks on Bond Street or do anything, we had to negotiate that with that association that homes are in there. And that was part of allowing them to move those homes. One of them got moved to the end down next to the bank. They allowed them to move only if it would be a left turn only. It was all part of that agreement.
And the other one's up in Missouri and Jackson.
Yeah, and so that's why there's never a right turn. And I think those homes would be very upset to have commercial traffic now and the agreement dissolved.
Well, but, I'm not trying to speak, well, I guess I am speaking for it. Simply, what I'm speaking for is, gee, we've got to figure out some way to get these people back on the highway. That was 8 years ago, and it builds up and things change. I just thought maybe we'd want to take another look at it. But
Won't you also, to get them back, they'd have to take a left out of there, right, to get back, so you would have to have 2 sets of stoplights, which is going to create more congestion.
I wouldn't allow that.
Well, yeah, Caterpillar coming in and out as well, right? I mean, you would, like unfortunately, it's not a great situation, but in my head, as I'm just going through, to get in and out of there, I mean, I don't see the expense of trying to create the left turn, the lights, and what that's going to cause at 4 o'clock, 4:30, as far as getting in and out. When you already are busy in the morning in that intersection, and adding another set of stop lights would just make that actually more confusing and probably more dangerous. I would guess.
I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing, but I'm not suggesting that you could make a left turn off of Clark heading toward the expressway. The state has simply forbidden that. What I was thinking of, there's a couple of things we could do, but one is to allow a right turn on Clark as you come out from the restaurants. And then you would go down to MacArthur and then turn left and go to Bond, and then you could catch the light in front of Caterpillar.
I don't disagree with all of the comments, but I think that the thing that's not being mentioned is the problem when people take the right turn out onto North Main. I've seen many times where people try to do a U-turn in front of Caterpillar, and then they feel kind of rushed, and so they drive right up on the curb and they go right on around. They do a lot of U-turns there because they don't know where to go. So the problem exists, and the safety factor is there where the U-turns happen. But I understand the issue with the homeowners, et cetera, but there is a safety problem there. There's no question about it.
But originally, that subdivision had no outlet until we allowed them to take that left. So the homeowners could have just left it, and they were all going to go out on Jackson. Now they've been able to sell the lots and have restaurants. When Norm Durflinger was mayor, we'd come up with the scheme that if it was a problem, you could go down and buy 2 or 3 businesses on North Main. The duplexes behind them was about 6 or 7 pieces of property, and the developer would have to put a road straight over to Bond. But that's really a developer's problem, because the developer agreed to this fix here. So, because if you did do that, you would have some commercial ground available to develop where the state wouldn't let it exit on the main, but you could exit on this side street that would eventually go to Bond. Mm-hmm. And there'd be a straight shot, but to drive it as easy and as as you might want to drive it through the subdivision, I wouldn't want all that traffic in front of my house. I don't think anybody in Morton does.
I agree with you.
No.
I wouldn't do that to anybody when we've made an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that.
Randy?
I would just, I don't want to put him on the spot, but I thought it might be appropriate for Chief Hilliard to share any observations or recent traffic and incidents there in that neighborhood.
I agree with what Tom has said. That is an issue that we have with collisions there at the intersection of Morton or Bond and MacArthur. I also agree with him when he said that we don't want this influx of commercial traffic coming out into our residential neighborhood. Pizza Ranch, I know, came in since this Jackson Plaza was in place. KFC, I'm not sure. It's probably pretty close to about the time that cut through. It probably came in shortly thereafter, this deal. La Fiesta, I watch people drive. We want to go the shortest route we can, and quite frankly, I think La Fiesta is shorter to the Jackson outlet at Jackson Street than what it is to drive all the way through Kroger parking lot and then out through Jackson Plaza. I think it would be more expeditious to drive out that way. I think it's a bad move on the traffic side, let alone an agreement which was made with the neighbors. But like I said, I think it's a traffic safety issue. I hear Rod. I've seen vehicles make U-turns there. Thing about a U-turn is it's not a prohibited maneuver unless a sign says that you can't make it, or unless it's unsafe to do so. If somebody has to make some kind of a defensive or evasive act to avoid a collision, then it wasn't unsafe to do so. There's only a few places in town in which we have no U-turns. In fact, we used to have it downtown between Adams and Madison, and they took that out. But if you're asking me what I think on the safety, I don't think it's safe to allow those vehicles to drive into the neighborhood. I look at the issues of the number of influx of those cars are, and the streets weren't made for that, and those areas weren't made for that. So,
Thank you.
I don't disagree with what the mayor says, is that we might want to, look at that, but I agree too, it's the developer's issue. But
Right, the businesses really should talk to the developer. They knew what it was when they built their lots, and they should work with him to work it out.
What could the developer do? Poke through to MacArthur? Didn't we sell that to the local?
Well, we sold a portion of what was MacArthur that is on the north side of Clark to the resident that lives on the northwest corner of that. It's right by the driveway. It's their property now. So, and I think that was during the whole time of the agreement.
That is correct.
Keep in mind also with the developer, Jackson Plaza is owned by the business owners to the center of the road too. So it's very short-lived that Mr. LaHood is going to be a part of this development. He's in his exit strategy now. One more lot, he's out of there, long gone. All these businesses, some may not be aware. We find that out too, but they own to the center of the road. Jackson Plaza is private. So I don't know. I mean, that's a tough situation where it's really an association similar to a subdivision. So I don't think asking the developer to do something, I don't see where he would participate. We've already seen where he's done work on some of the lots and sent the businesses bills for that work. So I don't think he intends to spend anything on a solution here.
Anyone got any ideas? It seems we're certainly not going to support a right turn onto Bond, and we probably can't punch MacArthur through because we'd have to buy it back from the people that now own it.
And La Fiesta is over to the center of, I believe, to the center of MacArthur now.
So-
La Fiesta.
Well, La Fiesta, you could probably make it work because you could put signs in, go to Jackson Street, turn left, go down to the light. It's just that I just think about all these people that say, oh, let's pull off here, and then have no idea how to, by the time they get wandering over to Jackson, they don't really know where to go.
Well, that's where the signage on the part of the landowners, which are the businessmen, according to Craig instead of the developer, they should provide signage for their customers.
Can they just put up signs in there about where the road is?
Yeah, it's
On their private property, they should be able
Since
to.
we don't have a map, can you give me a little bit more of an idea? Like, so is this, you're thinking somehow, like, explain to me the conversation again a little bit, because as I'm looking at the map, I was thinking about you're trying to make the left out of Clark. which
No,
you know
we gave up
can't do
on that. The
Okay.
state simply would not allow that.
So
left.
where are you?
What was in my mind was if you're driving out of the Jackson Plaza, you've left Pizza Ranch,
Okay,
you are forbidden to turn right on Clark.
okay,
But if you could turn right on Clark, there could be a sign there saying I-74 this way. You drive down to MacArthur, take a left,
Bond,
then another
left.
left on Bond, and you're at a light.
okay, I got you. That's what you're saying.
Because what they're
Okay.
doing now is they come out and they see the sign, they turn left, and then they say, there's the road, I can't get there. so they go down and swoop a U-turn or something to try and get back on them. But I guess I'm coming to the conclusion there isn't much we can do about it.
Pizza Ranch can put a sign at the exit of the parking lot to exit to the right, and they go out through Jackson Street like everybody else in the plaza.
To the interstate.
If we exited them through the shopping center to Bond and made the new street going through, they end up on Bond anyway. That's a residential. So the only thing you miss is that small piece of Clark, correct? So really, they should go out to Jackson altogether
Okay.
through signage.
Good point.
That's my opinion. If we're going to respect the neighborhood, it's not that much farther.
Do you think that would be useful, Craig?
I would think businesses like Pizza Ranch could put a sign up now. Like I said, you got to get through there. I mean, we're talking about non-local traffic, really. I think local, I would assume most, once they've gone there once, figures out where they're going to go. If you're going to Thorn Ridge in that area, you're going to go out Jackson and probably out Veterans. You know, if you're going south of town, myself, Randy, a lot of us here, it doesn't affect us, right? It's really that left back to the interstate that is a tough one for non-locals. But I think some of the businesses, like Tom said, honestly, that's probably a solution that would help. You know, as you get ready to turn right out of their business, 274 or some sort of sign to get there.
All right.
It's not the perfect solution, but if
Well, Craig and I will see what we can come up with, but we now know what won't work. Unless anybody's got something else to say.
I
If not-
support the idea of not going through the residential. I don't think. we
Yeah, I
should
get,
have to
I get the impression that
And,
you guys have some good points
And
about why that wouldn't work.
signage may be a solution, and, you know, you have to drive all around downtown Peoria to get to Interstate 74, you know, you just follow the signs and,
Make several
yeah.
U-shaped turns.
I mean, I think that signage may be the solution, or if a developer comes up with something that he or she could implement as far as other purchase of adjacent properties or whatever to create a new traffic flow. But, yeah, I definitely don't think we should be, we should keep our word in regard to going through the residential.
Okay. Got it. Anything else on this? Village clerk.
I just had one thing I just wanted to bring up. I guess I'm not the village clerk anymore, but I'll still bring it up.
You are for a few minutes.
In light of, there's going to be of course, the election, everyone knows about this November, but I wanted to remind everyone that the village offices that will be voted on April 4th, 2017 will be the village president, village clerk, and village trustee. There will be 3 trustee positions. Petitions will be able to start circulating those on September 20th, and then they will have to be filed back into the village hall with the village clerk on between the Monday, December 12th through Monday, December 19th. And we will have hours set for that pickup, drop-off time, so that those will be, you can get your receipt for dropping them off and everything at that time. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. That's it.
Village administrator.
As village administrator, I just wanted to tell you that there's a tourism quarterly update in your packet.
Chief of police.
Just one thing tonight, Your Honor, it's not on the agenda, but just information for the board that this Saturday we'll be conducting police applicant testing. This is done biennial. Eligibility list only lasts for 2 years, so it's this Saturday at the high school, and we'll start at 8:30. We work with the high school through this, using their weight room, their gym, or their track rather, and we use the cafeteria for the written portion. So
Got that?
that is all I have tonight.
Corporate counsel.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of fire.
nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of public works.
2 items tonight, Your Honor. First is item A. I'd like to ask for acceptance of the bid for the new entrance to 450 Detroit and the 2016 miscellaneous concrete repairs in the amount of $268,551.90, and award of contract for same to Opperly Construction.
So moved.
Second by Sam. You guys need to sit together. Any discussion?
I would like to add the drive to 450, that was budgeted, and that was actually budgeted, the gas fund, it was budgeted 110,000, that came in at 108, it should be fine. So the remainder would be the general out of your capital projects, which I think was reduced last time to 500,000, so which is still quite a bit under budget on that. And most of that, it's about 1,000 foot of miscellaneous curb throughout town that's falling apart. We're not catching everything with this bid, but I think we're trying to get caught up in some of those miscellaneous areas in certain neighborhoods, and then several inlets to be repaired.
Any questions? Call it, please.
Dobb?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Lanier?
Yes.
Next item in your packets is the Public Works recap for the month of July. That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Planning and zoning.
One item tonight, Your Honor. Before you on the table are the preliminary and final plats of the Cruz Bliss subdivision located on West Jefferson, immediately behind Casey's. The Plan Commission had unanimous recommendation to approve that preliminary and final plat. We've been through it in our office, and we're good with everything that's there and just ready to move forward.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Second by Randy. Any discussion? Call it, please.
Hare?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Lanier?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
Trustee Belsley, do you have anything tonight?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Trustee Blunier?
Nothing to see, Your Honor.
Trustee Dobb?
Nothing this evening.
Trustee Hare?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Herman?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Kaufman?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Before we adjourn, I wonder if our new village clerk would come forward and be sworn in.
I'll come to you, you just stand right there. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Samuel Taylor,
Having been appointed to the office of village clerk
having been appointed to the office of village clerk
for the village of Morton,
for the village of Morton,
in the county of Tazewell,
in the county of Tazewell,
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of village clerk
of the office of village clerk
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're fired. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Ginger got it.
Second.
Ginger got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.